What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video, and today I'm going to be teaching you some endurance builds or just SSD builds in general. And here you go. There's the gamer pick of me completing my endurance, and I've spent a couple months rebuilding my Twine according to other YouTube guides that are out there. Now, there's one main difference between me and them. All of their builds do work. They work, right? But there's a lot of blocking off, a lot of farming, and I respect it, right? My builds are very simple, straightforward, and we're not using a lot of traps. We're only using around 4, and we're not building and blocking nothing, period. I did several test runs with all their builds. I never failed in endurance, but I also never set the whole base up. I just picked random bases and I built their builds. That's all I did. I have a couple bases over here that are mine that I just haven't built. I didn't do every single base. I just did their builds and I gave it a go, see if they work. They worked. I just didn't like all the blocking off. I'm not an AFK guy. I like to shoot every now and again, so I gave myself a little bit of action. I will have to shoot the UFOs down. I will end up taking out some epic mini bosses here and there. All my bases are straightforward and open. I give them a straight shot right to the objective. I don't block them. I don't nothing. I just stun them in place with my ceiling drop traps. Now, before we get into this, the main thing that you need to understand from this right here with building any type of SSD or endurance, specifically this is going out to the people who are really building their endurance. What you do is this, and here is the main trick that you must know and do before you place traps down. And I don't care what you're building or what YouTube video you're watching. I don't care about that. You do not place traps. You build every single base first. Then you can place your traps. Because if you build a base, place traps, and then build a base and place traps, you're using your building limit. So if you build the bases first, you can go over your building limit by placing your traps. Now, I built every single base, and then I dropped the traps. There's some of these guides that I used and copied. I couldn't place a lot of their traps they wanted me to do because I was already exceeded on my limit. So I just compensated. But it's okay. But the trick is, do not build your endurance base and then place traps down. You must build all of your endurance bases first, then place your traps down. And now, using a video by Laris, he's got 4 different traps. Mitch Robb, he uses 12 different traps with 12 different settings. Same thing with Laris. A lot of these guys use multiple traps and multiple settings. You don't gotta do that. But I'm gonna teach you this. My build is straightforward and open. See that ceiling drop trap? The way you're facing your back and that little arrow up there with the U right there, that's the way the tile is going to drop and push back the husk. So if you want them to get pushed to your back, you put it on this way and they're going to go in the opposite direction. So whatever way you're viewing and whatever way that arrow, whatever way you're looking when you place it is what way the tires are going to drop and then push them. So I know the zombies are spawning here and I just want to push them back. So all my traps, I just have my back to them and then I drop my traps just like that. Alright, that's how I do it, and I just keep pushing them back and keep pushing them back. And then when they come back in, they get dropped, they gotta go back in again. Now, I have sound walls, floor freeze traps, and wall darts, and floor spikes. Now, you can use wooden floor spikes. I mix it up. But really, you're just gonna floor freeze trap everything. and put some floor spikes down. On the outsides, where you're going to contain them, just use your wall darts. Alright? But what's going on here on my builds is the ceiling drop tile. These guys are just getting stuck, and they're not going anywhere. They just get pummeled. And every now and again, I gotta go replace one or two. Not a big deal. So I know that they're spawning right here, so I want them to get pushed back down the hill. So I have my back to them when I actually place my traps. So remember, you're back to the screen, so you're seeing your back, and that's how you place your ceiling trap. Now, as I said before, this is very open. If you know where they're spawning, you just build your ceiling and start putting your drop tiles down. I know where they're spawning. I'm assuming everybody knows where they're spawning. If you don't know where they're spawning, play the mission and learn where they're spawning from, and then just build accordingly. I'm not going to go in there and show you all of that. I'm just going to give you my wide open build here. Like, I've got nothing here. I'm not going to trap. I'm not going to block. That is a block wall. It just slows them down. This over here is my own little base. I know there's nothing going on over here. There's no traps. There's no tiles. I'm not going to explain the complexity of this build here. But what I'm telling you, all you need for any base is ceiling, drop tiles, wall darts, subwoofers, floor freeze traps. This right here, that build right there will do every single wave of an endurance, and you can build every single base like this. Now, I've watched Mitch Robb, Digidata, Round Tic Tac, J-Rock, River Fox Gaming, Laris. I've watched all these guys. These are their builds. I've picked certain bases and built them. Yeah, they work. But I don't like the trap off. Like, look at all this blocking off. Like, I had to block this whole section off. And before I had this, it was just straight ceiling drops all the way back. And they don't even make it into my home base. Like, they don't get a chance to do it. Now, you guys can do what you want when you're building this. If you want a more in-depth guide, I can do that. I'm just not interested in putting that there because there's only one way they're spawning, and that's where you just place your ceiling drops, like over here. I refuse to knock this base down, right? This is a build, I think, from Laris or Mitch Robb. I'm not too sure. One of those two. And I copied their build. There was just a lot of blocking off. I'm just not like that, but I didn't want to do this side, so I left this side. And as you see, this is just wooden floor spikes, wall darts, and tons of subwoofers. That's it. They come rolling in, and they're just getting phased. They're just getting shot. I can actually expand that out if I wanted to when I go destroy all their builds and I rebuild my base back. This will take me a while. A lot of mats to replace all those traps that I had up there and a lot more crafting. That's it. This is what I'm doing. I got these tires going, bouncing them back in here. So they're just staying within the subwoofers. And you know, that's the way they're coming in. So I'm just pushing them back out of the tunnel. But this is how you do it. Any base, and you know where they're spawning at, you just hit them with your ceiling drop tiles. The whole entire spawn. Very simple, very easy, no blocking off, no nothing. You just build straight through. I am eventually going to rebuild my whole stinking Twine SSD again, but it's going to be a tedious process. I'm just not interested in doing it at the moment. I'm just going to leave it how it is. But this is my build. These builds here are mine, and they work 110%. That's how I was able to do my endurance. I went and tested their endurance builds, and they also work. There's a lot of blocking off. I'm just not interested in doing all that when I can just go straight forward, build the ceiling drop tiles, and call it a day. Another trick that you can do is save all of your durability survivors equip them, and that way your traps have more durability. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I didn't really give you an in-depth explanation. I'm expecting you to understand that and know their spawn. All you do is, if you know where they're spawning from, you just build 3 tiles up and drop your ceiling drops. That's it. Alright guys, GG. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're looking for something more in-depth, just leave some messages, and if I get enough of them, I will update. Until then, have a good one guys, and GG, and I'll leave a Discord link.